Okay. Ma'am, please present the tablet to Dr. Ritesh Kumar Singh. Thank you, ma'am. And we now request you to present the tablet to Mr. Rajiv Naval. Thank you so much, ma'am. Today's session will be guided by an inspiring moderator, a leader known for his transformational consulting expertise and purpose-driven work with SMEs and organizations. He's an SME group consultant, brand strategist, sales and soft skills trainer, and a TEDx speaker. Someone who strongly believes in creativity, contribution, and continuous growth. We are honored to welcome our moderator, Mr. Rajiv Narang. Thank you. We are, we are welcome to Honorable Moderator Mr. Rajiv Naral. Thank you for joining us, sir. We look forward to a truly enriching discussion under your guidance. Let's now introduce you to our panel for today's discussion. Our first panelist is Dr. Chandan Prasad, an associate professor at IIM Bodh Gaya. He's an expert in analytics, decision sciences, and academic excellence, driving innovation in managerial research. Welcome, sir. Our second panelist is Ms. Tanya Sarin. She is a manager in EY and MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies with a strong consulting experience at Deloitte and Taught LLP, bringing expertise in innovation, adaptability, and problem solving. We warmly welcome you, ma'am. Our third panelist is Professor Dr. Ritesh Kumar Singh. He's a research scholar at Jones IIT Kanpur. He's a UGC NET JRF qualified and a Icamp fellow, known for impactful research and coordination of large-scale projects. We're honored to have you with us, sir. With such a diverse and accomplished panel, we are all set for meaningful and insightful conversation. Everyone, without any further delay, I hand over the session to our moderator, Mr. Rajiv Naru, to lead the discussion.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful. So, in my point of view, the conference got over just before the tea. When our chief guest and the guest of honor actually explained everything about AI, and they were very, very clear about what AI is going to do to us. But I'll try and put this conversation more about from students' point of view, right? Because we discussed in detail about what is AI going to do. I think the biggest question that is going to remain is that why AI is going to be there and influencing the businesses, what is going to be very important is to find out what we need to do actually and how we utilize it with insight, with responsibility, and that's what we are going to discuss. But before we start, I just want to say one thing. For me, AI is, I mean, actually, for not AI, for me, I feel like a dinosaur in the room, right? No, no, not about you, sir. It's about me. Yeah, it's about me. We can say, I'm not sure if, I'm sure if you know, computers are born in front of us, so did internet, then mobile, and then everything. And everything, every time that happened, I always felt I will be outdated, I will be obsolete, right? And now we have AI. I don't know what to do. And when this call came to me regarding moderation of this panel discussion, I thought this is going to be a learning ground for me, more so in public and facing my fears. And I'm looking forward to have a very meaningful conversation and a lot of learning from you all, because of your age, and you're going to talk about the latest AI, insights. So with your experience, the teachers in the room, and I'll be the student. So allow me that. So let's start. So quickly, before we really get into a little deep stuff, I will just say that there are going to be only 45 minutes of this discussion. The time schedule has gone down. you will have some questions to ask, students. Do you want questions time, or should I just continue with the discussion? You have questions? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, yeah. All right. So we'll also squeeze it further because we'll have 10 minutes of question answering, right? So I would just like to understand from your perspective, in your areas of work, how has AI influenced, what is that disruptive change that you've seen AI has done in your businesses? You can start from this side and then you have a mic.
Okay. So I'm into risk consulting. So in easier words, what I do is I identify for a company what risks do you have. And at the same time, I also tell them, hey, why don't you put on these controls and compliance methods which will help you mitigate the risks. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. Now, when I look at AI and what we've been doing currently in consulting, there are a lot of aspects where AI has gotten in. And if I talk about EY as an organization, EY currently, just to throw some figures out there, there's about $1.4 billion of investment that EY has made into an AI integrated platform solely for AI. Now, when we talk about that, the whole consulting aspect of the organization is getting, I wouldn't say transformed entirely because transform is a very big word, but it is getting impacted by the use of AI. Now, when I talk about strategic decision making, or when I talk about strategic consulting, what our organization is doing is first it's trying out AI in internal models, and that is when it is applying or consulting other firms in terms of, let's say, strategy consulting, risk consulting, finance consulting, etc. So AI in a way is forming the backbone. It's in the process of forming the backbone. It's getting there into a hybrid setup where we have AI do the heavy lifting and where we have humans make the judgments. But in a nutshell, more of a hybrid atmosphere is what is being created with AI. Maybe I'd like to pass it on to Professor.
Thank you so much. Couple of disclaimers that I have no relationship with IIT, and I don't work in the area of AI. I have a received perspective of AI. I'm not a technology person. I'm a person of commerce. I use AI in my teaching learning processes. The moderator said that he's a dinosaur there in this hall, and I'm afraid of the size of the dinosaur. It is human mind which goes for looking at unknownness, what we call as terra incognito, with a perspective of knownness. So whatever the known categories are there with me, on the basis of that, I try to see that what kind of future we are going to face with AI. The first thing I find that the relationship between me and my work, that is going to change. In traditional system, we were having the binary logic. It was human, it was a machine or technology. We were looking at both from a different perspective. And then there was an intermix of technology and human. So role of the manager was to look at human side, which had a limited capacity, look at the technology side, which was looking at bringing processes that had place. But the different kind of socio-technical assembly which is arising out of the technology and human with mediated by AI, that is beyond my comprehension and cognition. What kind of ontological issue it is going to bring? What would be work for me in times to come? That I'm very afraid of. Because the present AI is ANI. It is a narrow, weak AI, where I know what I'm going to do. I know that what kind of AI I'm using for my teaching learning processes. But the days are not very far off, though it is theoretical at times, in present times, when it would be artificial general intelligence. So right now, I'm controlling that what work I will take from my AI and how I will make AI as my assistant. Couple of minutes back, I was talking to my colleague Neha that how I go for using AI in my teaching learning processes. Couple of menial things which I call as if not unacademic or academic, like taking attendance. I don't take attendance. I show the QR code, students they take their own attendance. Those and every day a new QR code is given by AI to me. Evaluation of assignments. I have trained my agentic AI. It goes for evaluating assignment and gives some 17 to 22 pages of feedback to my students. Those things are menial part of it. But when it would be artificial general intelligence, when AI would be cloning me, then there is a challenge. So I think the moderator and House will agree that this talk is not about that how AI is to be used today. AI, what kind of the changes AI will make tomorrow, I'm worried about that. And this AI is creating human robots in us. A simple example I'll give. That some of you are still struggling with your mobile phones. क्योंकि भाई मैसेज देखना तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज के बिना जिंदगी नहीं है जो लोग अपनी इस इच्छा को अभी रोक पा रहे हैं that immediately after session gets over, they will look at their mobile phone. They will look at their Twitter. They will look at Instagram. They will look at WhatsApp. Miss, this machine is bringing an auto-human within us. We are not controlled. It is machine controlling us. Machine is making us to behave like this. So this AI and human relationship in times to come, what kind of the humans it is going to make, my worry is that. And that needs to be deliberated. I'll come back to you.
Good, sir. Yes, sir, I agree. Whatever sir said, I totally agree. The AI is more about how we're going to be using. If you're talking about in the teaching area, generally, I remember that my professor make the paper take away exam, and then we have used either the books or maybe the internet. But now, if I make that exam, I make sure that it's not available on the AI, either it's a Power AI or any other AI. Second, most of the students say that the AI can take up our job. No, never. Remember that if you are not using the AI correctly, if you don't know how to use it, definitely it impact you. So the main phrase is that yes, if you are a good user of the AI and you are a good manager who know how to use the AI, ultimately you are replacing the person who can't use the AI. So yes, you need to be use the AI, but the cause is that how to use it, what is the benefit of using it. Ultimately, your AI is now moving from the analytic to the predictive. But if you go for the prediction, remember that it gives you the result, the n number of the result. Out of the n result, which one you are choosing it is coming from the theory. So you can't forget the theory. Ultimately, AI enhance the theory part. Analytic and everything is done by AI. It saves your time. Once it saves your time, how you utilize that time and creating the value is ultimately your game, ultimately the organization gains. So yes, all the tools is help you to save the time and how you utilizing that time for creating the value is the ultimate goal. So yes, we have to use the AI, but with the precautions that ultimately AI is just a tool. If you give the garbage in and garbage out is there, still it's a learning phase. And the data in the AI, as a panelist stated, that is mostly from the US and UK, or your old mobile phone listening you, they collecting the data and then give you the best prediction according to your search result. Remember that what you are thinking, what you are talking, immediately if you search on the Google give you the result according to your thinking process. Why? Because of your mobile phone is listening every time. Either your Alexa or Siri, everyone is listening you, and ultimately with that AI, it you give the real-time result. So benefit of the AI is give you the real-time result. The benefit of the AI is reduce your analysis time, it reduce your work. But now the question is that are you really utilizing your time? Are you really utilizing the result? Are you really good enough to identify that which result is really good for you, good for the company? Thank you, Dr. Prasad. We'll come to the skill part of and what we need to learn at the later stage of this discussion. And let's come back and also focus on the theme of the discussion, which is redefining the role of AI in management, right? So these are future leaders sitting in the room here, right? And they have to look forward to what actually happens when they land in a corporate life. What is going on there in that space? So we'll restrict our discussions around that part, and therefore to just again going back there. What do you think in a one word, if you really had to choose one word for AI? Well, what is it? It's a hype, helper, or the game changer? And a near future game changer. Do you think it's a game changer, Professor Singh? You also believe it's a game changer? But you also talked about the hype that is being made right now. And what about you, Tanya? You will take it as a helper as of now, and as Mr. Singh was saying, what about future? Is it going to be a game changer, or it still would remain a helper? You can use the mic, please. Yeah.
Taking into account the experience that I've had. Now, currently, I'm going to take AI as an enabler, as a helper to help in decision making, strategies, recruitment processes, operations. If I look at it in future, it depends a lot on what or how we are going to imbibe it at this point in time to be able to use it in the future. It could possibly be a game changer. It could possibly something like how Mr. Sunandu told us in the morning that it's probably gonna die. We're at the peak of the hype, and it's a possibility that everyone's gonna get used to it, and we're gonna realize that hey, maybe AI is not really what we're thinking it to be, or maybe we're not using it the way we should be using it. So it depends on where we go, but at this point in time, it's an enabler.
I get that. And I'll just take a follow-up question on this with you, Tanya, because you come from consulting and we talk about, AI definitely helps us in doing forecasting for numbers, business growth, everything. But we understand it is going to happen, it is happening, and it will keep on going on. But isn't it too much of a risk to depend solely on the algorithms and what are the risks involved there, and how do you see it?
Absolutely, it's a very big risk. We must take into account that the accuracy of AI, if I look at Gen AI is the most commonly used form of AI currently in an organization like mine, where we're also using Gen AI as assistants. We're using Gen AI for documentation, drafting, summarizing. We're also using agentic AI, like Sir mentioned, right? So we are incorporating all of this into it. There is definitely a risk. It is important for every organization before taking such a big step to evaluate the risks that come along with it. And at the same time, we need to put in a lot of checks. Let's talk about some of the risks. Let's talk about data risk. It's a huge risk with AI. When we look at Gen AI, I take my example. I want to simplify something I see very complicated. I simply put it in AI and I say, summarize this for me, simplify it for me. Now, that something that I've put into AI is probably a confidential document of my client. Now, that is not something I should be doing, right? So there are data concerns with it, there are governance concerns with it, there are ethics concerns with it. All of that needs to be taken into account by the organization who is implementing AI into their activities.
So we'll move to another function, Dr. Prasad, with you, because you are what should I say, an expert in marketing or a student of marketing? Both. All right. So when we talk about marketing is often the first playground where all the changes, all transformation happens, and AI has actually done that to us already. It has moved on to our mobile phone, our social media, everywhere we can see it is happening. So what is AI changing most in marketing? the content, the targeting, or the consumer behavior itself. So why I'm asking this question is because I see here, as I said, they are the future leaders, and right now they are also preparing to be a brand. You know, they are the brands who have to sell themselves for a good placement, right? So for me, while we are talking about businesses and the companies the way they work, it's very important for these students to get what is it that how they build up a brand and the role that AI will actually have in building it. So whether it is the content, it is the behavior, what alters?
It's all, but it's always started with that targeting because ultimately, with the help of AI, we have the good database. With the help of the database, we identify that different type of the segment, and for each segment, we can go for the different type of the content. And definitely, it change your consumer behavior. So I remember that the one company, maybe you are not about it, is Stitch and Fix. What does Stitch and Fix? They are doing it right now. They send you the cloth on the basis of your past purchase, and then if you like it, you can purchase. So now, initially, what is the method? You have to place the order, then the shipment will be happen. Now, the shipment is happened earlier. You can see the order, and now you can purchase it. So think on it from shopping to the shipment. Now it became the shipment to the shopping. That is the benefit of the AI. And that's why it's changing the consumer behavior. But yes, you need to be identify your target, which is again defined by your AI. Then you need to be modify the content. You need to be modify the product according to person requirement, and then you have to be change their behavior. That is that done by the AI.
Professor Singh, Dr. Singh, would you like to add something to this? We are talking about students here, and your experience would really be helpful.
Thank you, Kamil. When I see this relationship between the AI and the work and the role of the manager, one of the paradox, I see the paradox of temporality.
Yeah.
The paradox of temporality is that in present times, information in organizations that is flowing from bottom to up. So grassroots level people, they are made to collect the data, convert it to information, pass it to the top echelon, they go for deciding, and it comes back. So there is difference between sending information and getting the decision. But this AI, which is making this information readily accessible, and the decision is to be taken by the human. So is human capable to respond instantaneously the information which is fed to the managers, the top echelon? So this temporality is the greatest challenge. The speed at which AI would be feeding the data, and it is bringing a democracy. The earlier this information was accessible to handful of the people. But with the accessibility of this AI everywhere, everyone is empowered, equipped with the information, and they have processed information. So how managers, they will go for redefining their role, and what time lag would be there between receiving the information and responding to it. That would be one thing which needs to be talked about. The other issue is that this AI is empowering individuals. So individuals' intelligence is on the rise. My assistant has made me, I mean, if not better teacher, at least efficient teacher. I don't know effective or not, that the students will think. But I'm efficient because good set of my routinized work that is being taken care of by AI. But this individual intelligence of a teacher and teachers, how this would be converted into the collective intelligence of the organization, that what we call as Leibnizian monads. Monads are the characters who are very powerful, like divine. And when I talk about the monads, this is coming from the Western world, Greek mythology. I see fine example here in our context that Adi Shakti Parvati created Lord Ganesha, who is epitome of wisdom, the person, the deity most wise. Parvati ji went for taking bath and asked Ganesh, "Kisi ko aane mat dena." Ganesha was super powerful. Then another powerful person comes, that is Lord Shiva. And this powerful person, too wise, hyper informed, hyper intelligent, is not matching with the intelligence of Lord Shiva. बोला ना तुम्हें अलाउड नहीं क्योंकि जिसने मुझे क्रिएट किया उसने कहा कोई नहीं जा सकता. तो अगर हम लोग अगर लॉर्ड गणेश लॉर्ड शिवा की बात नहीं समझ पाते तो अगर हमारे पास जो एआई होगा जो हमें शिव और गणेश की तरह पावरफुल करेगा तो कलेक्टिव इंटेलिजेंस कहां से आएगी. तो इंडिविजुअली हम लोग इंटेलिजेंट होंगे. जो अभी के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में देयर इज अ थ्रेट which is there at the strategic level, at the top management level. They are making people to do this. They are distributing the job. In times to come, with a hyper intelligent individuals, with assisted by AI, where the organizations will go, that needs to be thought of. That it will the organization be brought down to individuals, where there will be loss of the identity of the collectivity of the organization. That needs to be talked about. I'll come back to again.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's very interesting. What you're talking about here is that this is a threat. We understand, but we also understand in the morning. You also heard that it's about our own judgment that we need to apply, and whether we need to allow, whether we should allow AI to take over our domain, or it's only AI realm that we are talking about. It is us, because at the end of the day, AI is dependent on the input which is given. Yeah. Because the next question also is, relates to that it is said that AI can write, design, and even create campaigns, again, from marketing perspective. I mean, also from a marketing side, so I understand this part a little more. So the big question was actually, is it actually can create AI, or it is just remixing the patterns and यहाँ का ईंट यहाँ की ईंट यहाँ का रोड़ा भानुमति ने कुंभा जोड़ा? So what it is that you should be saying?
Remember that AI is still is a tool. So if you say that they are making it, no, they are taking from the various available data resources. It depends upon what kind of the things you want. So it's depend upon what kind of the prompt you have given it, and then they give you result. So 100% originality, no, never. Ultimately, it's just a tool. As a such stated that 100% originality is always coming from your mind. So obviously, human being is play a very important role. They are designer of the AI. So yes, whatever they are doing it, ultimately it must be followed by the AI. So 100% originality, never.
I'd like to add that while I do agree that positionality is coming from the human mind, let's also take into account that when we are asking AI to generate something for us, we are also essentially giving it some sort of data. It is enhancing upon that data and giving us an output, right? Now, when that output comes to us, we do put our mind to it, we do think about it, and there's something that goes in again. So, again, I wouldn't say it's entirely human mind, it is a mix of both. When technology is giving you output from all the data that has been fed into it that you probably couldn't understand or assemble or just register it, you're able to think one step ahead because AI gave you an output and did something for you before you could think about it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, wonderful. So now we come back to people here. From AI, we come back to people. And as Professor Singh mentioned very clearly that he uses AI for attendance and assessment, and it's an everyday thing that you convert it. When AI actually becomes a very, very important part of the organization, and I'm not talking about the size of the organization right now, small, big, large, anything, large enterprise. I'm sure with AI and humans working together, there's going to be a hybrid model, which is going to be at play. What do you think? How are the structures going to change? How the reporting will change? I mean, I want these people to know इनको क्या सीखना है. I mean, वो तो स्किल का एक पार्ट है ही है. लेकिन how do you think the structures will all? Over to you, sir. I would like to hear from you.
Good point that how this interaction is going to change the structure. There is a need to understand that which structure we are talking about. What we call as performative paradox. That performative paradox is that AI is spread the data. On the basis of the data, AI is building its neural network, deciding, giving something based on that. And what it is giving, we are calling efficient. AI is very efficient. We have created AI, we have fed the data, but there is a speed more than me. So here there would be a dialogue of what Kant used to call the techne versus phronesis. The techne is the technical part, which would be taken care of by AI. So AI is going to standardize the processes. So processes would be standardized. But what kind of the processes? For example, let's say I start a restaurant and there are three chefs there in that restaurant. They are having their specialization in a particular kind of cuisine, but they are able to cater to the limited clientele. So whenever there is more guests there in my restaurant, so I said, sir, wait for 35 minutes. Order the going to get time to feed. But now I make robots as my chefs. So there is no limit on the menu which is there in my menu card. Anything they can go for preparing if inputs are there. Within the speed of the light, maybe the faster speed of light. Now, as a restaurant owner, I have to decide with the robots there as chefs, what is purpose of my restaurant? Is it for catering to the people those who are coming? Or this is going to provide meal at their doorstep? Or this is specializing in this? Or this is what kind of restaurant? I'm here to cater to the needs of the people who are coming. I'm here doing some philanthropy. I'm here only for X purpose or Y purpose. So in times to come where the technical part will be taken care of by AI, the phronesis, the wisdom part, there the human will be there having the superiority. Sure. That where the human will come and will decide that the wisdom of the individual, that what is to be done and how it is to be done, what is the purpose, that will decide that what would be the relationship between the AI and the
Correct, sir. I buy your point, but this looks like more like from a point of view of business model, right? My concern over here and the question is more about the structures and the report. I'll give you an example. Day before yesterday, one of my mentees called me and he was just simply talking about what is going on in his life. He's looking for a job change. And he told me I was taken an interview by AI. Right? It was an online meeting and the interview was taken by AI. They asked all the questions and after the interview, a report card, the certificate also came in that you passed through this particular software and your score is this much. Then I took it to the manager whom I'm supposed to call back and they said, okay, don't worry, I'm sending you another link for the next round. Now, this is for me is the transformation which is actually happening at various levels. I again don't know what size of organization that was, or maybe it was only an IT-based company or AI-based companies. It was easier for them to do it. Whether I will be able to do it for my clients or my SMEs or the people I work with is difficult. So my question was more about in terms of how the structures and the reports change. I just want these guys sitting in the room to get prepared for example, if they have to learn about how to live AI-based interview, I think that's something which we need to have a session on later sometime. So I was wondering more on that aspect. But the point that you mentioned was definitely from a business model point of view, that whether we use robots or not. And over here, the bots are taking interviews for them. So that was my point. You want to add something?
I'll share my experience.
Sure.
And you are talking about that how it unfolds at micro level.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how it will unfold at macro level.
Sure.
What kind of the changes are there in our cognition? What priorities of the managers would be in times to come? They have to be focusing more on not accuracies that AI will take care of, more on inaccuracies. They have to focus more on intuitions, more on hunches. This example which you gave that you can converse. When I go for my morning walk, अगर मेरी बीवी साथ होती है तो उसकी सुनता हूँ, मजबूरी है। और अगर वो साथ नहीं होती है तो AI की सुनता हूँ. Sure. Because I go for conversing with AI, right? So AI goes for giving good insights. This is at the micro level. But at macro level, will I be succumbing to AI? Because this AI is creating a different kind of paradox. So the paradox is that I heard that when you are under surveillance, your behavior is different. When in 1920, between 1924 to 27, when this Hawthorne experiment was there, the people under observation, their behavior was different. But here you and there the meaning of surveillance was very visible. But here you and me constantly are under invisible surveillance. So if I'm conversing with AI, I'm making a phone call, or I'm writing email, or I'm taking attendance WhatsApp. So in due course of time, every behavior of mine is getting converted into a byte. So if there are zillion bytes are there, then this person would be cloned. He would be decoded. That what Yuval Noah Harari says there in his book Nexus. And then there would be multiple of artisans at many places same time. Yatra tatra sarvatra. So what would be the relationship between the work and AI? I'm talking about that.
Looks a very interesting thought. More of you all over the place. Lots of learning, lots of experience being shared. Wonderful. That's a good idea. So what will be the leadership look like? Will it be again the kind of decision will be taken? And I want to have all three to talk about it. Let's start with you, Tanya. That what will the leadership look like in an AI first day? For me, that is something which is important because as you are saying, and we heard in the morning, the role of manager is dwindling actually, right? As you also was talking the while you that how your husband is, removed all the managers. So I think you can give us a first-hand experience on that.
100%. And I also like to take into consideration what was spoken in the morning around middle management being removed and the junior level management reporting directly to the top level management. Um, in an AI first world, when I look at leadership, I definitely look at more efficiency, better decision making, but majority with the humans, with human intelligence, is how I'm going to say. This is how I understand or read AI at this point in time, where we are right now. It could possibly change. Now, to answer your question on reporting and management, and to address everyone here right now, in this world that we're getting into, it is so important to stay relevant. It is so important to upskill yourself constantly. Organizations are investing a lot into upskilling them, but you yourselves, there is so much information available. It is so important to be knowing about things that you can do with respect to technology, non-technology, different spheres, different aspects, but upskilling and staying relevant mostly. If that doesn't happen and AI takes over entirely, the leadership, I I don't know. I'm not very hopeful of that.
All right.
But at the same time, it's important that we move with the times. We understand how AI is taking over, or is it taking over, or is it just helping us, benefiting us, and then be able to make much more efficient decisions at the leadership. Management changes, reporting changes. Reporting earlier used to be you sitting on calls and one person is giving the report of whatever their tasks are.
Sorry to interrupt, Tanya, because we are also to rush. My concern is not because reporting structure will anything change as a part of leadership. Because as I said, room is full of future leaders. They need to understand what is it that they want to learn, what is it that they want to, how do they get ready for that? So I'm assuming that this leadership position will come later. Right now, they're more concerned about job मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा AI की वजह से वो ज़्यादा important रूप से चल रहा है तो वो मैं उनके questions में रख लूँगा. I'll not take care of that. So I'll have two gentlemen sitting on the panel to respond to this. Professor Singh, would you like to first to
if I'm talking about a future leadership perspective, so generally, as Tanya stated that you need to be upskill yourself. You have to be learn the new thing by using your brain. You can't forget your brain. Ultimately, the leader always looking for it, what kind of the efficiency and what is the accuracy in your decision making, right? So yes, you have to be learn the thing, improve your decision making with the help of the analytic or anything or with the AI, and ultimately remember that top management किसी का नहीं होता, right sir? They're always looking for that key, okay, but it's you are adding the value to the organization. So you have to be add the value. If you are adding the value, either using the middle management or maybe the top management or with the bottom, doesn't matter. So if you fear that the AI will eat your job, I'm still not hoping that. The reason behind it, AI is still right now is the helping or enabler only And even if they're making the decision, but ultimately how to implement, how to execute is done by the human. So you can't replace the human. Human is needed, right? Its only benefit is that it give you the accuracy in the result. It only benefit is that it reduce your time. It reduce your effort. But ultimately execution is your part. So अगर तुम execute करोगे तो of course if your execution is better than the others, definitely you the chances of growth is very high. Think on it. Once the Google come, everybody say that सारी information सबके पास है. But are we utilizing the all the information? Are we although the all the information available, but the way you are utilizing and the way other are utilizing is totally different, right? So same for the AI. The AI give you the result, but the way you are utilizing is ultimate matter. Thank you, sir. Would you like to add? And after this, we are opening the session to questions for questions.
Good from the panelists. They have added a lot of value. Just to extend it, you're saying that how the leaders tomorrow they go for looking at AI. There are three levels of education: the proto level, the neutral level, and the tertiary level. The proto level is education must be empowering you to identify the pattern. What is pattern there in data? What is pattern there in the class? What is pattern there in the speech? What is pattern there in the writing? What is pattern there in the orality? That is one. Then the second is neutral level, that make habits so that you are able to see pattern and behave accordingly. These two are minion in present AI human dialogue. We have to, these students, the future leaders, they have to take themselves to the third level of this, the tertiary level. Having the habit of not having the habit. आदत ये बनाओ कि कोई आदत ना हो. Then you would be going for reskilling, upskilling, de-skilling yourself. Because it is said that there is a report of Class Swap, World Economic Forum, the future of work 2025. It says that every third year, these Gen Z people, they have to invest at least 144 days to remain, to maintain the status quo. So 144 दिन के लिए जरूरी ये है कि इनको ये बता दिया जाए कि तुम्हारी सर्वाइवल जो है इन चीजों पे नहीं होगी. सर्वाइवल के लिए तुम्हें सोचना क्या पड़ेगा. That is to be taught to them, and for that they have to go for massively using AI, but keeping themselves intact, because AI can replace only technique. It is technology part AI can go for taking care of. That the wisdom part, that is theirs. So when it comes between the dialogue of head and heart, the head is being taken over by AI, but their heart will go for deciding their survival. If they would be using AI just for getting answers, questions done, answers prepared, so they are actually going to lose the battle. They have, I was reading news, it said that you use AI. In the exam, you use AI, but what prompts you have given to AI that you have to disclose. They have done it. So therefore, there is a need to understand that where am I? In, I give a very naive and popular example that in a group photograph, everyone is interested in his own photo, own image. तो द ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ जो ये बच्चे एआई के साथ खिंचवाने की कोशिश करेंगे, उसमें इनकी इमेज प्रोमिनेंटली आएगी कि एआई की ये डिसाइड करना है. अगर उसमें एआई दिखेगा तो दे वुड बी लॉस्ट इन दैट. So they have to go for making their image prominent.
I think that's a wonderful message, and I need to have each one of you actually clap on this one. But I'm going to ask them. Really nice. So, thank you so much. That's wonderful. That's very insightful, sir. And before we go further, for me, the takeaway is AI is an enabler. Technology will always be. And till the time in businesses, the consumer, the customer is human, there is nothing to worry about. There will always be role for emotional intelligence, always be role for human intelligence. The seller can be a robot, but buyer will always be a human being. So till the time that is happening, it's wonderful, right? So open to you guys. Anybody who wants to ask a question, please stand up, raise your hand, stand up and then ask a question. Name the person you want to ask that question to. I will take only 3 questions. Thank you. Who wants to begin? All right. Okay, we'll start with him. Tell us your name, tell us whom you are addressing this question to, and then ask the question.
Good afternoon, esteemed panelists. My question is for like I don't have single
All right.
network.
Go ahead with the question.
Yes, like one of the panelists said that like ever one of the panelists said that every AI will not replace all the jobs, but the someone who knows how to use will replace that position.
Yeah.
But I think like actually from my point of view, I think we are actually upskilling the AI because we constantly give information
Sure.
and now as the purpose of this I think conference is to like to accelerate the growth of innovation in the AI. So when we go down in that road, uh, then don't you think that we drastically reduce the employment rate
All right.
because
I got that. We got that. I think we'll ask all the 3 questions together. Maybe they are repetitive wording and we'll take it together. The next question, please. Yeah. Yes, the girl in red. Okay.
A very good afternoon to the panel. My name is Harshita Dikshit and I'm from GNIT Institute of Management Studies, Greater Noida. My question is from Ms. Tanya. Like in the consulting firm, do you believe in the long-term adoption or the quick win projects with the AI? What is your approach or what your views on the same?
Yes, who's the next one? The last question.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Ghanshyam. I have a question from Tanya, ma'am. If I wanna if I wanna go into finance field or finance analytic field or related for risk consultant, what should be more focused to improve myself to upcoming AI environment so we can sustain there and try to improve ourselves. What the mindset and what the learning we can get to with time so we can sustainable in this field.
We will start with all the questions that you have to answer, Tanya, and then we open that for both of them.
To be honest, I wish I could just chat GPT the answers, but I'm gonna make it as original as possible.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer your question first, where you're talking about the difference between long-term adoption and quick projects and what should be chosen between the two. Definitely long-term adoption. Quick win is gonna get you a short ride. Long-term adoption is gonna help you understand where you are headed with it, where you are right now, and what is it that you're going to gain after that. Actually, with anything in life, personal, this is a personal opinion. Absolutely no judgment for anyone whatsoever. But my personal thing is long-term adoption for almost everything. I feel like a shortcut or a quick win isn't going to get you much. It's the hard work that you put in, the learnings that you get out of every single thing. So even if it's AI, even if I'm learning about AI, it's not going to be possible for me. So if I was to come for this conference today, the panel discussion, if I would have just gone through things and we were discussing this in the morning, that we just chat GPT the whole segment and we were like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about, but it doesn't help. What has actually helped me right now is all the experience that I'm carrying, the way I'm enabling AI in my workplace as well, and also in my personal aspect. I have almost everything happening on ChatGPT. I have different chats. My food menu is getting decided. My dog's menu is getting decided. My cleaning stuff is getting decided. My work is getting decided. So adopt it in for the longer term to really see the benefits of anything in AI. So,
But do you think the way the Gen Zs are adopting the AI, like they all are focusing on, even I am the Gen Z, but they all are focusing on the quick win projects, and this is reducing their creativity and the real intelligence of the head.
ma'am, I think you answered your own question. So again, Okay, quick win is reducing the creativity. I do not have much knowledge about how Gen Zs are approaching with what. My interaction with Gen Zs is limited to the Gen Zs in my family and little bit in my workplace because I have to manage them. But that's pretty much it. So again, you said it yourself that it hampers creativity. And AI, we should try and use it as much to be able to make ourselves better, to be able to understand how things are going around better. That's what I like to say. I hope I answered. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Risk consulting. Your question was around risk consulting and how you should be, what all you should be learning to understand better. I think currently you're in a fab place. Okay, you're in a fab place doing what you're doing. This is the first step. You're already at the first step. When we look forward, and if risk consulting is really a domain that you want to get into, uh, read up on organizations that are offering risk consulting as a service. You can read up on your alumnus organization, PwC. You can read up on EY. You can read up on the big fours, the big threes. We have BCG, Bain, and we have McKinsey. So keep yourself relevant. There is so much access to so much free flowing data right now, right? So even if you just tell ChatGPT every day, hey, give me top 5 news from consulting domain today from the world, you're doing a great job there as well, right?
Thank you.
Professor say if you could answer the gentleman to the first question, and we would also like to have the closing remarks from your side.
He asked about the changing, the reducing jobs, I think. Yes, was your question?
Yes, but can I clarify my question once again?
Yeah, please, please.
So my actual question was like, AI, like AI is not a sentient being. It cannot perceive humans like emotions and different situation arguments like human do. So if we go down in the innovation path, so don't you think like at one time when AI can actually perceive human feelings, emotions, and like the situations, then Mr. Chandan said, like people who actually knows will replace those jobs. But if the AI actually can analyze that same thing as the that but one person who knows, then will don't you think that those positions will be drastically reduced? But it's just my
Just
curiosity.
get on it, but
Yeah, that is there. That I told you in the beginning that
Yes.
as long as it is ANI, the narrow intelligence, artificial narrow intelligence, worry is not much. But when it would be artificial general intelligence, then the system will start, the AI will start doing and thinking strategically. So operational part, strategic part, technology part, coherence part, collaboration, everything when AI would be doing, then there would be greater threat. For the time being, whatever is the reduction in the number of jobs, there is many-fold increase in the other kind of jobs. So that is why he was saying that the jobs will not reduce. If it reduces in one domain, there will be openings, many-fold openings. And if you refer that the World Economic Forum's report, it said that 11 times more jobs would be opening. But then you have to go for bringing a different kind of skill into, right? There is a need to understand. The other girl was saying that what kind of interaction is there. There is a need to understand that physical, digital, and biological world, they are coming closer. And based on that, China has already produced the first designer baby. The designer baby, where the DNAs are tweaked, where there's a resequencing of DNA before the birth of the child. And that designer baby, वो designer dress नहीं है जिसको जाके आप सिलवाते हैं, वो designer baby. And whatever disease is there in the human cognition, that baby is free from all ailments. उसको कभी कैंसर नहीं होगा, उसको कभी एड्स नहीं होगा, उसको कभी हार्ट बीमारी नहीं होगी, उसको डायबिटीज नहीं होगा, उसको हाइपरटेंशन, whatever is no disease, the child is free from that. If this where we are heading to, maybe AI, if AI sees that we don't want smart people in times to come, we'll go for resequencing the DNA there in the womb of the mother. उस समय क्या होगा, जॉब क्या होगी, स्थिति क्या होगी, उसके बारे में सोचने की जरूरत है। और अभी एआई को यूज करने की जरूरत है। The more and more you use, but there is no shortcut. If you will get your assignments made, तो एआई जो है वही चोर है और वही पुलिस है। मेरे असाइनमेंट्स जो बच्चों ने किया उसको एआई से मैंने कहा कि जरा इसमें देखो कि कितना परसेंट है, तो एआई ने बताया कि इसमें 40% से 100% है। और जिस बच्चे ने 100% एआई का यूज किया, द फीडबैक गिवन टू दैट स्टूडेंट दैट यू डोंट डिजर्व टू बी देयर इन द मास्टर्स क्लास, you are ill-equipped. You have used generative AI to get answer for your assignment. So where are you? Therefore, using AI does not mean that somebody else will work on your behalf, because there is no shortcut there in life. Success will come only when you will go for investing, and that investment is not copying from somewhere else. Investment is learning. Until unless you know that what is right and what is wrong, whatever AI gives, that would be right for you. So therefore, the jobs will reduce, there will be shrinkage, but at the same time, that different kind of the ball game, the different kind of world of the job that is opening up. So there is need to look at the positive side instead of looking at the negative side.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you so much. Thank you for this very insightful conversation. I think it was useful for you guys. I'm sure the panelists are still there for some time outside. In case you have any one-to-one questions, you can catch them. And thank you so much once again, Tanya, Ritesh sir, and Jamin Prasad sir. And thank you each one of you. Thank you, Jim, for the JIMS for the opportunity. And डिजाइनर बेबीज के बारे में बाद में सोचेंगे। अभी अपनी डिजाइन पे काम करिए, लर्न एआई, यूज एआई, एंड एज इज सेड उस पे काम करो, डिजाइनर अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you to all our panelists for an enlightening and thought-provoking discussion. Your perspective has truly broadened our understanding of how AI is shaping the future of management and leadership.
To express our gratitude, I request Dr. Sponsor Jain, Director of Gens, to kindly present memento to Dr. Chandran Prasad. Thank you, ma'am. I request Dr. Sonia Dheer, Dean IB, to kindly present memento to Dr. Ritesh Kumar Singh. Now I request Dr. Anand Kumar, Dean of Examination, Anil Kumar, sorry, to kindly present memento to Ms. Tanya Sari. I request Dr. Pratima Daipuria, Dean of PGDM, to kindly present memento to Rajiv Nagar, sir.
As we conclude this session, we extend heartfelt thanks to our delighted panelists for sharing their expertise, our moderator for steering the conversation so effectively, our wonderful audience for your attention and curiosity.